Domestic wastewater quantity and characteristics part 1. In this topic we will discuss about the quantity and characteristics of domestic wastewater. As we know that the standard norms for domestic water usage in India is 135 liters per capita per day. The quantity of wastewater generation is dependent on several parameters, and the main parameter is quantity of fresh water supply. So today we will discuss about all these things. It is very necessary to determine the quantity of sewage that will flow through the sewer. And the sewage consists of two categories. The first one is dry weather flow and second one is storm water. Now, dry weather flow means the wastewater flows in the sewer system during period of dry weather like summer and winter with minimum infiltration. And storm water, it means it refers to the rain water or during the monsoon season. Stormwater management is again very important as it protecting our environment and protect the locality from urban flood. Now we will discuss about dry weather flow. Dry weather flow consists of again two types of sewage. The first one is domestic or sanitary sewage and second one is industrial sewage. What is domestic or sanitary sewage? It is the waste and wastewater produced by human or household activities. While industrial sewage, it is wastewater or used water generated from manufacturing or chemical process. The quantity of dry weather flow or DWF is determined by considering the following four factors. These are the very important four factors. The very first one is infiltration and exfiltration, then nature of industries, population, and the last one is rate of water supply. Infiltration and exfiltration. So very first we'll discuss about infiltration. What is infiltration? So infiltration is the term is used to indicate the leakage of wastewater from the ground surrounding the sewer, or in other words we can say that infiltration means groundwater that seeps into sanitary sewer through the cracks or joints. Here in this figure we can see there are crack in this sewer lines. Okay, so due to this crack, whatever groundwater that seeps into this sewer line or it enters into this sewer line. And another very important term is inflow. Inflow means whatever extra water which enters into the sewer line through the manholes or by some illegal sewer connections. One is exfiltration. The term exfiltration is used to indicate the leakage of sewage from the sewer into the ground surrounding the sewer, and exfiltration is the leakage of wastewater out of a sanitary sewer system through broken or damaged pipe and manholes. Here in this figure we can see that how groundwater is contaminated by exfiltration due to cracking in pipes, failing joints and corrosion. So this infiltration and exfiltration both are opposite to one another. In the infiltration, what happens? The excess water enters into the sewer line, while in exfiltration the water which flow through the sewer lines which are coming out uh, through some cracks. Now infiltration and exfiltration both are undesirable, and the infiltration, it is a due to infiltration unnecessarily it increase the quantity of sewage, while exfiltration it pollute the ground underground source of water, but infiltration is preferred over exfiltration. The infiltration and exfiltration can be prevented to some extent by constructing watertight joints of sewers. The quantity of water through infiltration depend on the following factors. The very first one is head of subsoil water level, then length of sewer, nature and type of soil through which sewer is laid, and the last one is size of sewer. Now, the next factor which affect the dry weather flow is nature of industries. The quantity of industrial sewage will depend upon the nature of industries. Sometimes what happens, many industries they create high amount of sewage while some industries produce less amount of sewage. So the nature of industries again plays very important role in the dry weather flow. Then the next factor which affect the dry weather flow is population. Just in just as in case of water supply project, the future population after 2 or 3 decades is determined by applying any suitable method of forecast. The design period of different parts of sewerage system is different, and the following factors are taken into account while fixing the probable life of a particular part of the sewerage system. We cannot design any water supply system or sewerage system on the basis of current population. We have to keep the future population in our mind while designing such system, and scope of expansion and modification must be there. So the following factors we should keep in our mind. So which are these factors? The very first one is chances of improvement in the equipment, then cost of adding an extra unit of the equipment, labor conditions having important influence on the cost of equipment, and maintenance cost and overhead charges, operation methods, and original cost of the part. Usually the design period of the following parts of the sewerage system are as follow. Laterals are designed for 50 years or more. Branches and submains are designed for 50 years. Then main sewers and trunk sewers are for 30 to 50 years. Pumping plants are designed 5 to 10 years as it contains some mechanical machineries like pumps and all that things. Okay, so it's it is designing for 5 to 10 years. Then treatment of or treatment units, it is designed for 10 to 30 years. Here in this figure we can see what is manhole and what is laterals, what is sewer lines, what is waste treatment plant, regional trunk line, and how these all systems are connected with each other. The next important topic is rate of water supply. Usually the quantity of water entering to the sewer line will be slightly less than the quantity of water supplied. And for the practical purpose, it is assumed that the quantity of water which does not enter sewer is very nearly equal to the extra quantity of water which enters to the sewer. In other words, the rate of sewage is assumed as equal to the rate of water supply. Sometimes due to infiltration and inflow, extra water enters into the sewer line. So we assume that the water supply and sewage generation both are equal. The rate of sewage may however be assumed lower than the rate of water supply to extent about 60 to 70%. And intensity of pressure again plays very important role. If the water is supplied with high pressure, then what happens? There is more consumption of water and more wastage of water from leakage in pipes and valves and leakages in pipes and valves, etc. And if the pressure is low, then what happens? There are chances of leakages from pipes and valves are less. Use of water. The use for which water is consumed should be carefully studied. It is quite likely that water which supply may not appear as sewage after its consumption. As we know that we are using the water for various purposes like for drinking purpose, bathing purpose, cooking purpose, washing purpose, gardening purpose, and all that things. So it is not necessary that whatever water is supplied, so the same quantity of sewage will generate. But due to infiltration and some due to some infiltration and inflow, the excess water is enters into the sewer line. So generally we assume that the water supply and the sewage generation both are equal. But water that is supplied to fill up the tanks of railway locomotive will not appear as sewage. And similarly, the quantity of water supplied and the quantity of sewage formed by various prominent industries such as cotton mills and milk plant should be studied, and accordingly the rate of sewage should be decided. After dry weather flow, the next important topic is storm water. What is storm water? Storm water means rainwater that we can say. The quantity of storm water which is known as wet weather flow or WWF that will enter sewer is to be carefully determined, and it involves the various factors such as intensity of rainfall, characteristics of catchment area, duration of storm, etc. The storm water is to be collected and conveyed in sewers at a proper place for the following reasons. The very first one is damp conditions are created which are unhygienic as they provide flourishing ground for microorganisms. As we have already discussed in our previous video about damp conditions, the damp conditions are unacceptable as they directly affect our health and they create serious health problems. Then existence of water pools affect the foundation of structure. Due to water pools or water logging, the building structures may become weak. Then initial washings of streets by stormwater contains organic matter and hence such water requires to be collected and to be taken to the treatment plant. Low-lying area get flooded and transportation system is paralyzed and it leads to loss of revenue. If we do not manage storm water properly, then in the low-lying area there are chances of flood. So we must manage this storm water. And stagnant water pools serve as breeding place for mosquitoes. As we know that if water is stagnant for some a period of time, then mosquitoes breeding will start and they will spread disease. So this is about dry weather flow. In this video, we have discussed about domestic wastewater quantity, in which we have discussed about dry weather flow and wet weather flow. In dry weather flow, we have discussed about infiltration and exfiltration, nature of industries, population, and rate of water supply. While in wet weather flow, we have discussed about storm water. In our next video, we will discuss about characteristics of domestic waste water.